Well, Burr, good morning, E-Town. Good morning on Friday, February the 5th, on a very cold February morning. And we're here today with the latest E-Town Live. I'm Eric Witherspoon. I'm the superintendent at Evanston Township High School. I'm joined by Marcus Campbell, who has two jobs, the assistant superintendent and the principal of Evanston Township High School. And we're just glad to be with you today because primarily we're going to be talking with you about the upcoming in-person experiences that we're going to be able to open this school up for our students. But before we get to that, just Marcus, good morning, and how are you weathering all of this?
It's cold and snowy, but doing okay, doing better. Happy to know that we're going to be opening the school for the kids. Yeah. That's very encouraging.
It sure is. It sure is. And so I think you'll sense the enthusiasm in our voices today as we talk about the next step. So we know the effect that the pandemic has been having on all of us. We know how hard this is, and we can see that, you know, we have several more months of the pandemic ahead of us. Some would even say longer than that. I'll say months in order to say something that maybe encourages us all just a little bit more. But one of the things that we do know is the metrics in Evanston, in Region 10, in the state of Illinois, are really quite favorable right now. And of course, you can look at those graphs and see how they can sometimes get much better, and then sometimes all of a sudden start spiking and getting worse. We're going to deal right now with the much better. And because of these metrics that we have right now, we are really feeling confident that we can offer in-person experiences for our ETHS students and start getting them back into their school. But at the same time, as you listen to us talk about these, I'll remind you that one of the reasons that we're going this route at the moment is because we can actually bring students in pods. We can know exactly who's going to be in the building, in what room or setting, how many will be there, and we can really deal carefully and safely in those pods. It's a lot different than bringing in over 1,000 students at a time, hundreds of teachers at a time, and then about every hour having changing periods, and everybody mixes up and mixes around and goes into yet different groups while passing each other in the hallway. We're still working on that one. But as you hear about what we have right now, I think that you're going to realize that this is going to go a long way in addressing what teenagers really need. We know that teenagers are feeling a sense of isolation. They're experiencing a lot of screen time. We know that they just want a chance to be in a setting with their peers and to be able to interact with them in a first-hand way, but a very safe way, and to also just be able to feel that sense of belonging here at their high school. So, Marcus, why don't you talk a little bit about what these are going to be, and we'll start to give people a little bit of a flavor for all the things that are going to be available coming up real soon.
Well, thank you, Eric. I'm happy to do that. As we've said, the in-person experiences at ETHS will help develop well-being and belonging for students. It's just something that Eric has just mentioned. And we will be able to do that without disrupting the existing bell schedule. Mondays and office hours during the week are dedicated to voluntary in-person activities and experiences on campus. And these experiences will adhere to the guidelines set by the Illinois Department of Public Health and by the Illinois State Board of Education. Our goal is to make sure that any ETHS student who wants to come in for an in-person activity may be able to do so in a safe manner. There are some sports and activities that have already started, but we will have a much wider range of opportunities available to students beginning the week of February 16th. Next week, students will receive instructions about how to sign up. We have already given an idea as to what some of these opportunities may be. They are included but not limited to hands-on enrichment and instructional activities, an in-person introduction to ETHS for our freshmen, the class of 2024. You will be seeing that information coming really soon. And thanks to our ambassadors and our student transition coordinator for pulling this off. Amazing. Capstone experiences for our seniors, the class of 2021. Seniors, we know you want to get back here and you want to have another opportunity to walk these halls. And we're going to give you a chance to do that. Remote instruction in centers during designated time. We will have a safe center for online learning where students can sign up to come into the building for a comfortable place to be able to engage in the enhanced e-learning here at ETHS. We'll have outdoor experiences on our campus, mindfulness practice experiences around the school where we'll be having sound baths and yoga and meditation and all of those kinds of things for our kids. And special programs will be offered through Wildcat Academy on Saturdays, so teachers can sign up to come in on Saturdays to have a special program for an in-person opportunity. All of the activities, including classroom-specific opportunities, will be centralized in one Google site for students to access. It looks amazing. I've seen it. I can't wait for you to see it too. This week, we shared information about the logistics that students should be familiar with as they prepare to come on campus. That is at least having your ID number and some other things. There's a checklist, so see the website for that. Our reopening plan website has information about entrances, virtual IDs, and other guidelines. There are important reminders about pre-screening and water bottles and a checklist of items that will help students arrive on campus in an efficient way and, of course, be safe the entire time. So we're looking forward to this. Eric?
You know, Marcus, as you go through all of that, it's just a reminder again for all of us that we are so conscious about safety. And to be able to do this in the format that we're talking about, again, to have students come in pods where we have students going directly to a place, having that great experience and being able to then, and in fact, leaving the building so that we have a control over the flow of people and the exposure that might happen is really great for us. As all of you know, last summer when all of this was very, very new, we did design a hybrid plan for our classroom instruction. We worked on that even into the fall. Well, I want you to know that we also have worked on it vigorously in the month of December and January, and there was actually a deadline by the end of January for people in all of the related areas to that hybrid plan to give the updates and the changes that they really feel are necessary to make that work. We will be taking a strong look at that. In fact, we've started, but we will really be looking at when we would use a plan like that, what indeed would be necessary to continue to really guarantee the safety that we want to have. But it's exciting to know that we can still have these in-person experiences which we think our students are really going to want to have. You know, to come in here with 25% or fewer of your classmates at a time, to have to go directly to a class following one-way hallways, one-way stairwells, no social gatherings, all facing the same direction, wearing masks 100% of the time, being in 6-foot distance separation or social distancing, and then having, when you were done, to exit the building and immediately exit the campus. We just aren't sure that that's what teenagers really, really want. So we're working on it, and in the meantime, the in-person experiences are just going to be tremendous. Now, as we've said many times, we're keeping a lot of things going at ETHS. So many of our annual events, all of our annual events, all of the kind of exposure and experience that we would want our students to have. And one of them is Black History Month. And we have actually been celebrating Black Spirit Week, Black History Month celebrations of all kinds. And a lot has already taken place, and it's still early in February. We have a lot to come. But Marcus, we have a Black Student Summit coming up real soon. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we're really excited for the Black Student Summit that will be held on Monday, February 8th. For a number of years, ETHS students and staff have organized this event, and student leaders from our Black Student Union have done an amazing job with this year's virtual event. We're excited. Our keynote speaker this year is Alicia Garza, and she's co-founder of Black Lives Matter and is really just a world-class leader and has had vision that has really shaped how we policy and all kinds of things all over the world. And she will be interviewed by our own 2019 graduate Nia Williams. And so congrats to Nia to have this very powerful interview with Alicia Garza. That's something that I'm very much looking forward to. We see a lot of Black trauma that gets played in the media over and over, but it is our intent to focus on Black strength, Black joy, Black resilience as we engage these Black History Month activities, as we engage the summit, and that's something that we will continue throughout the school year. So at this time, we have seen a disproportionate number of Black folks of the COVID-19 being disproportionately impacted by COVID. And so the infection rates are higher, and while access to vaccines and medical resources is lower. And we have seen Black and brown voices excluded from the narratives about our health and our safety. So that's just something that we want to keep lifting up, that even as we engage in Black History Month, we want to recognize the impact of COVID-19 on the Black and brown communities all over this country, but especially here in Evanston. So I want to thank our students and their affirming power of advocacy and reminding me of the joy of the Black experience. And I want to thank our staff that are working vigorously right now in my office to make sure that this goes over very well and very smoothly. We have books to give away to the kids. We have masks. We have all kinds of things to really celebrate and honor and lift up Black joy during this time of suffering and crisis. And I want to thank all of the staff who continue to reinvent what we do and how we do it. I must say, I was so impressed when I saw the Google site for our Black History Month programming for our Black Summit. It has just done, the programming and the aesthetics of it all just really make me proud of our team and our kids and who put this together. We also know that in order to and we do it in support for a lot of reasons, and we do it because it's the right thing to do. And I just want to thank the staff for doing that. Not just because it's Black History Month, but because it's we celebrate being Black and the greatness of Blackness 24/7, 365 days a year. And I also want to take this opportunity for me, before I turn this back over to Eric, to thank all of our staff for reinventing what we do, how we do it. These in-person experiences is something that, we haven't done before, but our staff has stepped up to the plate. The teachers, you're coming with such great ideas. All of our staff are just jumping right in because we know that this is good for kids. And I would like to say that there will continue to be many virtual options available to students who choose not to participate in in-person experiences. And for students who do choose to come to campus for scheduled in-person experiences, please make sure you follow the health protocols to keep yourself safe and to keep the rest of us safe as well. So there's a lot of exciting things, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who's making it happen. Eric?
You said a lot, and you are so right. For people who say, well, teachers just don't want to be with the students, and I've spoken of this before, but we have a real reminder right now. Our teachers, our staff, absolutely want to serve our students. And the fact that this whole initiative of the in-person experiences has been developed, and to have such an overwhelmingly positive response from our staff, from our teachers, on trying to help us brainstorm how we can make this work. It is such a credit to them. And I just urge all of you, understand, these are human beings who don't want to get COVID, and they don't want to suffer severe or even deadly consequences. But that doesn't mean that they're not doing everything they can to try to participate in the safest environment possible for our kids. And we just can't forget that. And I thank everybody who's working so hard to come up with ideas. And that leads me then into just thinking about the vaccine. You probably are seeing in the news media that our state, for example, we're in phase 1B of the vaccination plan, which means that educators, everybody who works in a school qualifies now to get the vaccine. Sounds great, but I'm sure you've also been following the news that there is quite a shortage of vaccine, and we have not been able to even begin getting our staff vaccinated at this time. So we continue to hold out. We're in communication with the city's health department. We're in communication with the local hospitals, and we will continue to do everything in our power to be available when that vaccine is available, so that we can help assist in the rapid deployment and vaccinating of all of our staff. In the meantime, I just want to remind everybody too of this, that we know that people of color are between 1.4 and 1.7 times more likely to get COVID than white people. This is CDC statistics and information. And we also know that people of color are 2.8 times more likely to die of COVID than white people. 51.7% of our staff consists of people of color. 56% of our students consists of students of color. And what we do know about young people is this: while young people of 12 and under do not necessarily transmit COVID the same way as adults, adolescents 13 and over apparently do. And even though they don't get as sick from it, oftentimes they're asymptomatic. Well, a lot of the time they're asymptomatic. And the death rate among young people in that age group is very, very minuscule. We know that they would be able to transmit that virus to adults just as other adults can transmit it. So we're really taking this carefully and cautiously. But we also are so eager to see that vaccine, because that would be one more level of protection and safety that all of the people who work in this building would be able to have. We're monitoring the situation. We're following the latest updates on transmission in schools, and we'll continue to pay close attention to that. And Marcus, I'll turn it over to you.
It's just a great day to be a Wildcat, Eric.
It's a great day to be a Wildcat. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate your grace and your compassion, and we just thank you for giving us a little room when we're trying to do so much for thousands upon thousands of people who are part of this school, and the thousands and thousands of people who are part of their families. Have a great day. It's a great day to be a Wildcat.